All right, this is lesson 2.5, dividing decimals by whole numbers, and this is example 1. Today we're talking about our friend Joe, who bought 3 9/10 or 3.9 pounds of candy corn for a party. That's a lot of candy corn. He divided it among himself and 9 friends. How much did each person get? Now, there's a couple of really important things I'd like to mention here before we get on to the actual math. 1, it is very important to actually read the question. Don't just go through and go, okay, look, 3.9, cool, 9, okay, we're good. 3.9 divided by 9, right answer, huzzah. No, that's not the right answer, because there's something really important here. Yes, 3.9 pounds is important. It's a number by itself. He bought 3.9 pounds of candy corn. However, he divided it among himself and 9 friends. Himself and 9 is not 9 total. Himself and 9 is in fact 10. So we're doing 3.9 divided by 10. How many pounds of candy did each person get? So let's go ahead and work this out. I'm going to write it just as I would any other division problem, up and down in the box. So right about here, 3.9 divided by 10. Now, oh no, there's a decimal here. What am I going to do? Ignore it. Just like when we're doing multiplication, we are going to ignore this decimal. We are going to ignore this decimal until the very end, and at the very end, then we can care about the decimal. That is not what I wanted to do. Okay? At the very end, we will care about the decimal. Please excuse the blip. We will worry about the decimal at the very end. I hope I've said that enough times now. Have I said that enough times? We're going to worry about the decimal at the very end. For now, though, we're going to ignore it. So, 39 divided by 10. Does 10 go into 39? 10 doesn't go into 3. I'll put a 0 up here. But 10 does go into 39 3 times. 10, 20, 30 doesn't quite go in the 4th time. I'll put these over here. Multiply, subtract, bring down, and repeat. You can see that. Okay. Now, we've done divide. Now we multiply. Again, no decimal yet. Ignore the decimal. What decimal? Who said anything about a decimal? There's no decimal here. 3 times 10 is 30. I'm going to subtract because that was division and multiplication. I'm going to get 9, and oh no, I'm on the bring down step, but there's nothing to bring down. That's not exactly true. Every single number has one of these at the end. Normally it's a 0.0 for a whole number, but in a decimal, it's another 0. Every decimal has another 0 at the end. I can put zeros on the end of this number for days, and it will not change the value. 3.9 is exactly the same as 3.90. Does not change the value in the slightest. But it does give me something to bring down. Bring down that 0, and now I have 90, and I can repeat back up to the top. Divide. Does 10 go into 90? Why, yes, it does. How many times, you ask? Well, 9 times. 9 times 10 is 90. Subtract, and I get 0. I want to go until I get a 0 down here. No remainders. I do not get to use remainders at this time. If there's a decimal, I do not get to have a remainder. Decimal means no remainder. No remainder, no fraction. I'm done dividing now. But I have one more thing left to do. Remember that decimal we were ignoring? Yeah, we have to stop ignoring it now. Have to pay attention to that decimal. Luckily for us, what we have to do with the decimal is even simpler than for multiplication. When we're dividing a decimal by a whole number, at the end, when we have to remember that this decimal exists, all we have to do is shoot it up into the sky like a rocket and stick it right where it was above itself. The decimal goes in exactly the same place, just right above. That's why it's so very important to make sure your place value is in the right place. That's why I put the 0 there. I wouldn't normally put the 0 there because I know 10 doesn't go into 3. I don't need to mark that. But if I put the 0 there, I remember I can't put anything else there. The 0 is a placeholder. 10 doesn't go into 3, or 10 does go into 3, but 0 times. 10 goes into 39 3 times. Was there something else? No remainder. So how many pounds of candy does each student get? Each of Joe and his friends gets 39 lbs. I ran out of room there. 0.39 or 39 hundredths of a pound, which is actually a lot of candy corn.